Greetings, my ghosts and ghoulies. It's Miss Elizabeth back with you again today. If you don't know me, I'm from the University Branch Library, and I'm going to teach you how to make these Halloween window clings. For this project, your supplies are going to be a template. I found this one at ilovetocreate.com. Your puffy paint, which you can find at any craft store, or your parents might already have some. If they grew up in the 80s, they know exactly where to find this. Parchment paper, which is most likely already in your kitchen, and tape. If you don't like the template that I used, you are welcome to find so many more online. Here are two that I found from roamingrosie.com. Just make sure anything you use is copyright free and free to use. These are all from websites that allow you to use it, just don't sell it. Okay friends, just a couple tips before we get started. Always do them top to bottom if you're doing multiples on a sheet. If you are right-handed, left to right. If you're left-handed, right to left. Otherwise, you'll stick your hands in it and it'll mess up your window clean. You also want to tap your bottle with the lid on the table before you get started. That'll help you with any bubbles later on. You are going to start tracing with your, see, that's a bubble. You're going to start tracing on the parchment paper, shiny side up. You always want to put the shiny side up to get them off very cleanly. If you do the other side up, they stick. And the beauty of parchment paper is you can just see right through it. If you are exceptionally talented, you don't need a stencil and can just freehand all this, and then you don't have to worry about that. You will want to make your paint relatively thick because these shrink when they dry. And if you are doing one like this one that calls for 2 colors, do one color first, let it dry for several hours, and then add your other color in. As long as they're touching, you don't have to worry about them separating once they're dry. You know anything about icing cookies? It's like icing and flooding when you fill in. If you don't, you're basically filling it in and kind of pushing it so that it's flat, kind of pushing the puffy paint. Otherwise, you'll end up with all these weird lines. See, that's what happens when you do it without the lid on. Rookie mistake. If you don't want to fully fill it in, you don't have to. Just make sure everything is touching, or else you'll wind up with pieces that just don't connect, and you'll have to have separate pieces. These will be good next year as long as you make them thick enough and you store them with freezer paper or parchment paper between. Now they love to stick to each other. Can't draw perfectly, don't worry. I know I sure can't. Don't worry about following things exactly, just as long as it ends up looking kind of like it, you're good to go. No one will ever even know, as long as you don't show them the template. And something that bothers me about this template right here is the pupils of the cat are round. We all know that a cat's pupils are slits. I think it makes them look way creepier. No, I do not have purple, neon green, or orange or yellow. Oh, no, I do have orange. But I don't have enough to do the witch, so I'm just gonna leave her off for now. But you get the basic idea. We'll come back to this in a little bit after it's dried. Okay, ghosts and ghoulies, you've now waited and let everything dry enough that you can do your second color. Just be sure to go all the way to the edge when you fill it in. You just want to make sure that both parts come out together. And like this one, multiple colors, multiple layers. Just be sure you're waiting enough time in between. And now, how do you get them off? Just very gently pull them. It's really simple. And they do like to stick to each other, so if it does, just be sure to gently pull it apart. You don't want a 7-legged spider. But here you go. And here's our first completed window cling. Just stick them on the window and you're good to go.